Hello, let me share my screen and then I'm going to get my video up. All right. Uh, hello, oops, sorry. Hello, my name is Jenelle Alberts, and in my mythology presentation, I will be talking about the monster, the Windigo, that originally comes from Ojibwe mythology. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge and bring awareness to the fact that Allendale Township is located on the stolen land of the Ottawa, Potawatomi, and Ojibwe Indigenous tribes. The Wendigo is a myth that, to the Ojibwe Nation, represents perseverance through tough times as a community, and it represents pushing away selfish interests during times of struggle. According to Britannica Online Encyclopedia, the Ojibwe live in North America and parts of Canada. They occupy land in Minnesota, North Dakota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Ontario in Canada. The Wendigo is still very much a part of Indigenous cultural traditions to this day. So, what kind of monster is the Wendigo? The Indigenous author and professor of environmental biology, Robin Wall Kimmerer, explains in her book Braiding Sweetgrass, within the chapter Windigo Footprints, that the Wendigo is a monster of the Anishinaabe people, an Ojibwe boogeyman used to scare children into being safe, much like an American boogeyman. The Wendigo appears as a terrifyingly large man, about 10 feet tall, with long white hair. The Wendigo has terrible breath with yellow fangs and chewed off lips. The Wendigo also has a heart made of ice. And the Wendigo is essentially a human being who has become or turned into a cannibalistic monster. When does the Wendigo appear? Kimmerer says Wendigos come out during the time the Ojibwe call the hunger moon, when the deep winter has led people to starve because hunting is too dangerous and food is scarce. Wendigo mythology spread quickly during the fur trade since animals were being exploited instead of available to be eaten. Um, Thus, the Wendigo embodies the fear of famine. What does the Wendigo represent? The Wendigo represents the taboo against cannibalism. If you succumb to selfish desires and needs, you will turn into a monster, and you will be doomed to roam alone till the end of time. By fulfilling your selfish needs, you are now cursed with an everlasting hunger that can never be satisfied, and there is no way for you to get to the spirit world. Kimmerer states in her book, born of our fears and our failings, Wendigo is the name for that within us, which cares more for its own survival than for anything else. Now on to the Wendigo, balance, and community. Brady DeSanti, the Indigenous Director of Native American Studies at the University of Nebraska Omaha, wrote an article titled The Cannibal Talking Head, the portrayal of the Wendigo monster in popular culture and Ojibwe traditions. In this article, DeSanti dives deep into how the Wendigo is a representation of community in the Ojibwe Nation. DeSanti states, the Wendigo within is what the Ojibwe call Mino Bimazdiziwin, an Ojibwe individual maintaining equilibrium among their tripartite self, consisting of two souls and a physical body. DeSanti also mentions the Ojibwe believe that humans comprise two distinct souls that must be kept in balance alongside their bodies. The Wendigo indicates an imbalance within an Ojibwe soul and with their community. The Wendigo's heart of ice represents a person's ego being disproportionate to the rest of their body and of their nature and of nature around them. The Wendigo is too self-absorbed to care about anyone else but themselves, so their community suffers. Today, the Wendigo can be compared to, sorry, I hope my video is not covering. Wait. It might be covering a little bit of something. Um, Kimmerer relates or relays the Windigo myth into modern day context for us through consumerism. The Windigo is a guide for what we should not be and a deterrent from acting on the greed that resides within us. The act of consuming is something that people living in capitalist societies are far too familiar with, always wanting more. It's easy for us to overindulge if we aren't conscious of the harm it can cause to the environment and the people around us, thus promoting self destruction. So, before we self destruct and end up hurting the environment even more, we have to step back and answer the very important question: do we need belongings or do we need to belong? Kimmer explains that it is belonging that we crave. Community is important and it is what will increase our quality of life, not objects we buy and buy until we can't buy anymore. As Kenneth C. Davis says in his book, Don't Know Much About Mythology, myths have been and remain a powerful force in our lives, often without or even recognizing them. Myths are all around us, leading the way to knowledge, hope, community, and love. They scare us and excite us, and like the Wendigo for the Ojibwe Nation, myths are the basis of our morals and how we choose to live our lives. Here are all of my photo work cited, and here is my references work cited, and then I have these references in my annotated bibliography as well. Thank you for watching.